Now let us learn about the force between two bar magnets. In the previous discussion, we have derived a formula to measure the force existing between two separated poles in Coulomb's inverse square law. We read that if two poles M1 and M2 are separated by a distance r, then what is the force of attraction or repulsion existing between them? We read it as F is equal to mu naught by 4 pi M1 into M2 by r square. So this was what we read in Coulomb's inverse square law, that the force existing between two isolated poles. Now in this case we are going to read about the force between two bar magnets. So when one magnet is placed in the field of another magnet, it usually experiences a force. Earlier also we have seen in an activity. Now again I will show this one. You see here. Here I have taken two bar magnets. I have taken two like poles facing each other. When like poles are facing each other, there will be a repulsive force. You see here. There is a repulsive force and the magnet is turning to one side. Therefore a couple is also acting on it. So we can see that when two bar magnets are placed close together, we can see that a couple is acting on a couple, a force is also experienced on one magnet, and both have some potential energy. If I keep the unlike poles together, you can see they get attracted. Now let us derive a formula to measure the force of attraction or repulsion between two bar magnets. Let us measure the force between two magnets when they are placed along the line joining their centers along the axial line. That is, their axial lines coincide each other. Now let me consider a bar magnet here. I will mark these poles of this bar magnet as N1, S1, and the magnetic moment of this bar magnet is how much? M1. So we know the direction of magnetic moment is from south to north. Therefore the direction of magnetic moment is this one. Now I will place another magnet such that their axial lines coincide each other. So this is the axial line of this bar magnet. So here I have taken another magnet. I am taking the case of what? Opposite poles here. So therefore this is opposite poles, means N2 and S2. So this is the magnetic moment of the second bar magnet M2. So the direction of this magnetic moment of this bar magnet will be in this direction. So in this case you can see that the magnetic moments of both the magnets are in the same direction here. Now these two bar magnets are placed in the magnetic fields of each other. That means there is a force of attraction which we saw earlier when the two poles are unlike poles. That means this bar magnet has been placed in the field of this bar magnet. So the field of this bar magnet will be in which direction? So earlier we have studied that when a bar magnet is placed and this is the north and south pole, what is the magnetic induction at a point P on the axial line of a bar magnet? In that derivation we have told that the direction of magnetic induction on the axial line will be in the direction of the field line. So here also the direction of induction of this magnet will be in the direction of this field line. So I will mark the induction of this bar magnet here. Why I am marking it here? Because when these two magnets are placed in the field of each other only, we can see what? Attraction. So therefore the direction of induction of this field will be in this direction, and in this case also, because the axial lines are joined together, the magnetic field induction of this bar magnet is also in this direction. So in this case you see the magnetic moments are in the same direction, and the magnetic induction is also in what? The same direction, but the forces are what? In opposite direction. They are attracting each other. Now in this case, if the distance between the centers is r, then what is the mathematical relationship between all these things to find the force of attraction between them? So it is derived as mu naught by 4 pi into 6 times the product of their magnetic moment m1 into m2 by r power 4. So in the other case also this formula holds good. In the other case means, now take the first magnet, which is this first magnet, north and south. First magnet N1 S1. Now let us keep the poles, same poles in now here the same poles are facing each other. When same poles are facing each other, there will be repulsion. Earlier case we saw it as what? Attraction. Earlier case was attraction. Now here it is repulsion. Let us assume the magnetic moment as m1 for the first magnet. The direction of magnetic moment is in this direction, and here because the poles are what? Like poles are facing each other. Here this is n2 and what this is S2. So the magnetic moment of the second magnet, the direction of magnetic moment is from what? South to north. Now as told earlier, what will be the direction of induction of this magnet? Because it is on the axial line, it will be in the field direction. So here this is the field direction of what? The second magnet. Now again for this the field direction will be what? In this direction. B1 will be in this direction. So in this case you see the fields are in opposite direction. Earlier case you see the fields are in the same direction, magnetic induction fields. Here now the force between the two magnets is a repulsive force. So now the distance between the centers of this magnet is also how much? R. Then the formula to measure the repulsive force between the two magnets is the same, that is F is equal to mu naught by 4 pi 6 m1 m2 by r power 4. Now let us see the second case, when two bar magnets are perpendicular to the line joining their centers. You see here I have taken two bar magnets here. So this is the north and the south pole, north and the south pole of this bar magnet, north and south pole of this magnet. When I bring these two magnets close together, you see what happens here. There is a repulsion. There is a repulsion force between this. Or if I move this forward, you see there is a repulsive force. Now if I turn one magnet, that is if I bring the poles opposite to each other, you see what happens when I bring them close together. There is a force of attraction. You see, just if I leave it, there is a force of attraction. So now let us derive a formula to measure the force of attraction or repulsion when the magnets are perpendicular to the line joining their centers. Now let us take the case of magnets perpendicular to the line joining their centers. So now I have placed the magnets perpendicular. This is the first magnet. N1 and S1 are the poles of the magnet. The direction of magnetic moment is from south to north. Therefore, this is the direction of magnetic moment of the first magnet. Now, let me take the second magnet. So, this is the case where the like poles are facing each other here. So, this is my second magnet. So, this is my N2 and this is my S2. Again, the direction of magnetic moment is from what? South to north. Therefore, the magnetic moment is M2. Now, in this case, we saw there is a repulsive force acting between them. That means these two magnets, when they were brought into the fields, magnetic fields of each other, there was a repulsive force. Now, let us see the direction of this field. This is the center of the first magnet. This is the center of the second magnet. So, they are joined on the equatorial line here. So, earlier, we derived a formula that what is the direction of magnetic moment on an equatorial line. See, this is a bar magnet of what? North-south pole, and on the equatorial line, if P is a point on the equatorial line, what is the direction of magnetic induction at this point P? Means it was opposite to the direction of this field. Opposite to this direction of what? field we studied. So here also in this case you see here, this is the north and the south pole of this magnet which is placed here, and the direction of induction of this magnet will be opposite to this, therefore it will be in this direction. And here also the direction of induction of this magnet will be here from what so in the north to south. So north to south I have marked. Here also it will be in which direction? North to south. Here you see, I will give a clear picture here. This magnetic moment direction was in this direction, and the direction of magnetic induction is what? From north to south on equatorial line. So here also north to south on equatorial line, north to south on equatorial line. So now it is clear that when two magnets are placed perpendicular to the line joining their centers, the direction of magnetic moments are what? Same, and the direction of their magnetic field inductions are also what? Same, but there is a repulsive force acting between them, and if the distance between the two centers is r, then here there is a repulsive force. Here we see that there is a repulsive force. Then the mathematical formula to measure the repulsive force is F is equal to mu naught by 4 pi. Here it is 3 times m1 into m2 by again r power 4. You can see the second case also, where when unlike poles are placed together, there is a force of attraction. So here I have taken two bar magnets of one north pole and south pole. This is the first magnet, so mark it as N1 S1, and this is my second magnet. It is what? N2 S2. Because they are of opposite poles, I will mark it as what? N2 S2. Now the direction of this magnetic moment will be from south to north, the direction of magnetic moment of first magnet. Now the direction of magnetic moment second magnet will be what? South to north. M2 is in what? These two are in opposite directions. So we see that there is a force of what? Attraction between these two magnets. And what is the direction of this field? This is the center of the first magnet, this is the center of the second magnet. So this is on the equatorial line, they are joined. Therefore the direction of magnetic induction on equatorial line will be from what? North to south. So here you see the induction of this magnet will be in direction of what? North to south. Therefore the induction of this magnet B2 in this field is in this direction, and the induction of this magnet will be from what? North to south in this direction. This is what? B1. Try to understand the directions, and the distance between the centers is what? R. Then the force of attraction in this case is F is equal to mu naught by 4 pi 3 into m1 m2 by r power 4. So what is that we observe here in both the cases is when the magnets are along the line joining their centers on the axial line, or when the magnets are on the line joining on their what? Equatorial line, we see that the force of interaction between them, I will write it like this: the force of interaction between the two bar magnets, the force of interaction, and we saw both attraction and repulsion, therefore I have written it as what? Interaction. The force of interaction between two bar magnets, when their axial line or equatorial line coincide, when their axial line or equatorial line coincide is, we see that the force is inversely proportional to r power 4. So these are all constants here, mu naught, 4 pi, the magnetic moments are what? Fixed. So the force is inversely proportional to r power 4. In the previous discussion, we derived a formula to measure the time period of oscillation of a dipole in a uniform magnetic field. So we derived the formula as T is equal to 2 pi square root of I by m into b, where I is the moment of where I is the moment of inertia. I is moment of inertia of the magnetic dipole, and m is the magnetic moment. And B is the field strength, that is the intensity of magnetic induction. Intensity of magnetic induction. So we observe that in this mathematical relationship 2 pi is a constant. So we observe that time period is directly proportional to square root of what? Moment of inertia. Time period is inversely proportional to 1 by square root of the product of magnetic moment and the field strength. If the field strength is constant, then we can write it as time period is inversely proportional to square root of what? The magnetic moment. If B is constant. Now with this idea, now we shall learn some applications. You see here the first application. If two magnets of moments m1 and m2 of same dimensions and same mass are oscillating in a same field separately, then the ratio of their time periods is asked. Two magnets. So let us assume this is the magnetic field. So magnetic field we denote it by what? B. Let us consider two magnets which are, when they are placed in a magnetic field separately, the magnetic moment of this magnet is what? M1. Magnetic moment of this is what? M2. Or I will write it like this for our convenience as magnet 1 and magnet 2. So if two magnets of magnetic moments, for first magnetic moment is M1, for the second magnet it is M2, of same dimensions and same mass. When dimensions and mass are same, the moment of inertia is also same. Therefore, the moment of inertia of both the magnets is same. It is I, are oscillating in the same field. So they are oscillating in the same field, means the field strength is also what? Same, where they are placed. Now we want the ratio of their time periods. The time period of first magnet is T1. The time period of second magnet is what? T2. So earlier we studied that the time period, if the magnetic field is constant, the time period is inversely proportional to the magnetic moments. So we can write it directly also as T1 by T2 is time period is inversely proportional to square root of what? The magnetic moment. Therefore T1 by T2 is equal to inversely proportional. I should write it as square root of M2 by square root of M1, or I will explain it clearly. You see here T1 by T2. What is the formula for time period? It is 2 pi square root of I. What is the first magnet moment of inertia? I by M1 into B by, for the second magnet, what is the formula for time period? It is 2 pi square root of, the moment of inertia is same, I by, it is M2 into what? B. 2 pi gets cancelled. Here square root of B cancels, square root of I cancels. So therefore this on simplification, the square root of root M2 goes to the numerator and square root of root M1 comes to the denominator. Therefore the ratio of the time periods is inversely proportional to the square root of their magnetic moments. Now let us see the second case of application. In this case, a magnet is oscillating in a magnetic field B. So this is a magnetic field, uniform magnetic field B. So we don't represent the direction, it is always from north to south, and its time period is T. Now there is a magnet when it is placed in a uniform magnetic field, it experiences a torque. Therefore, I have drawn it like this. A magnet is oscillating in a magnetic field B, a magnet. So, this is the north and this is the south. The time period of this magnet is how much? It is T. It is T. So, I will write this as magnet 1. Time period is what? T. Now, what is that here? If another identical magnet is placed over the magnet with similar poles together, so there is another magnet which is placed over this magnet with similar poles together, that means like poles attracting together, then similar poles together, then what is the time period of this combined magnet is asked here. So earlier, when a single magnet was placed, what was the time period? T is equal to 2 pi square root of I by m into B. The moment of inertia is what? I. The magnetic moment is what? M. Now, when this magnet is placed over this, what will be the new moment of inertia of this combined magnet? New moment of inertia will be what? 2 times I, because the mass has doubled and the dimensions have also doubled. So, moment of inertia doubles. And what happens to the magnetic moment, new magnetic moment? The direction of magnetic moment of this is how much? In this direction m. And here also the direction of momentum is it was same. So, the magnitude of momentum is m. For this magnet also it is what? M. Why? Because identical magnet is placed is told here. Therefore, what will be the combined magnetic moment? It will be what? 2m. Now, what will be the time period of this configuration? So, time period formula is what? 2 pi square root of moment of inertia in this case is how much? 2I by, it is what? Product of magnetic moment into field strength. In this case, the magnetic moment is what? 2 times m into the field strength is the same. Therefore, 2 gets cancelled. Again, T dash is equal to 2 pi into square root of I by m into B. So, earlier we have written the time period is 2 pi root I by mb is what? T. Therefore, the time period of this new configuration will also be equal to what? The original time period. Therefore, we can say that the time period remains unchanged in this case. Therefore, we say that the time period remains unchanged in this case. Now let us see the third case here. When a magnet is oscillating in a magnetic field B. So this is a magnetic field whose strength is what? B, and its time period is T. So therefore, let us consider a magnet which is placed in a magnetic field. So this is the north and this is the south pole, whose time period is how much? T. Time period of this magnet is how much? T. So time period formula is what? 2 pi square root of I by m into B. By I into m into B. Now, if another identical magnet is placed over this magnet with unlike poles together, so another bar magnet is placed over this with unlike poles together, means here this is the south and this is the north over the other, or unlike poles together, then what is the time period of this combination? So, what is the time period formula? 2 pi into square root of I by m into what? B, where m is the magnetic moment. So, what is the magnetic moment of this new configuration? So, magnetic moment for the first magnet is what? M. So, the direction of magnetic moment is from south to north. So, identical magnet means the magnetic moment of the second magnet placed over this is also what? M, but the direction is what? In this direction, from south to north magnet. You can see these two are vectors, they are in opposite direction. Therefore, the resultant magnetic moment of this configuration will be how much? vector 1 minus another vector. This is the resultant magnetic moment. I will write it as resultant magnetic moment of this configuration is how much? 0. So what will be the time period of this new configuration? Time period will be 2 pi square root of moment of inertia. It is what? Doubled, because it is placed over one another, 2i, by the magnetic moment is how much here? 0 into b. So any number divided by 0 is not defined, or we put it as infinity. Therefore the time period in this case is how much? Infinity. So the time period becomes infinity, that it does not oscillate in this case. Now let us see the next case here. The time period of a thin bar magnet is T. It is cut into n equal parts. So let me consider a thin bar magnet here. This is a thin bar magnet, north and south pole, which is placed in a magnetic field of B, whose time period is what? T. Time period. If it is cut into n equal parts by changing its normal to its length. It is cut into n equal parts by cutting it normal to its length. So I will take this magnet as an example. Understand? The mass of this magnet is what? M, and the length, I am not taking the magnetic length, I am taking the length of this substance here to calculate the moment of inertia. So according to the case discussed here, the time period of a thin bar magnet placed in a magnetic field is how much? T. Now this magnet is broken into small parts, n equal parts. How they are cut? Normal to the length. So like this, they are divided into n equal parts. Now what is the time period of one part of this magnet placed in a magnetic field? That is the question here. What is the time period of this small piece of magnet placed in a uniform magnetic field? So the time period formula is T is equal to 2 pi square root of moment of inertia by magnetic moment into the field strength here. So when this magnet is cut into small pieces, its moment of inertia changes and magnetic moment also changes. Now let us measure the change in moment of inertia of this small magnetic piece. Understand? Earlier in this chapter, system of particles, you read about moment of inertia of a rectangular lamina. So moment of inertia of a rectangle, because this is cut into pieces of what? Rectangle. For a rectangular lamina, about its axis, which is passing through the center perpendicular to it, about this axis, that is perpendicular, about the axis passing perpendicular to the length, axis passing perpendicular to this length. Moment of inertia of a rectangular lamina about the axis passing through the center, our axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the length. So the formula is moment of inertia is m into L square by 12, where m is the mass and L is the length. Therefore the new moment of inertia of this substance when it is cut into small piece, this total mass is how much? M. It has been divided into how many parts? N parts. Therefore the mass of each part will be how much? Mass of each part will be how much? It is m by n. And what will be the length of this each part? Length of this each part also is what? L by n. According to this formula, it is whole square by 12. Therefore, what will get? M L square by n cube. Here n square into n cube. So this denominator is 1. If it goes to the reciprocal, here we get it as what? 12. Therefore, the new moment of inertia is ml square by n cube into 12. Now, what is that we have to calculate? What is the new magnetic moment? That means after breaking that magnet into small pieces, new magnetic moment. Earlier also we have studied the magnetic moment also will be what? M by n for the small piece of magnet. Why it will be m by n? Because the length is what? Decreased. So the length will be what? L by n. Shall I explain it clearly? You see here. The magnetic moment of the first magnet is how much? It is its pole strength into its length, 2L. Now, the magnetic moment of the new magnet is the pole strength is the same because it is divided perpendicularly. There is no change in the pole strength. The pole strength is same, but in the length it is how much? 2L by n because it is divided into n equal parts. Therefore, m into 2L by again what? N. So, the new magnetic moment will be what? M by n. So, this we have discussed earlier in the topic. Therefore, now to measure the new time period of this small magnet placed in the new magnetic field is 2 pi into square root of what is the moment of inertia now here? ml square by n cube into 12 by what is the magnetic moment? M by n into what is the field strength? It is B, uniform. On simplification, you see T dash is equal to 2 pi square root of ml square by 12. ml square by 12, where m is the mass here. ml square by 12 is what? Moment of inertia. So I will replace it by what? ml square by 12 as I by n cube. In the denominator, it is how much? M by n. So it goes to the numerator as n by m into what? B. N gets cancelled. Therefore, it is 2 pi square root of I by n square into m into b. This n comes outside. So this is 1 by n times 2 pi square root of I by m into b. This n I have brought it outside. So the new time period is equal to 1 by n 2 pi root I by m into b. This 2 pi root I by m into b is nothing but what? Time period. Therefore, the new time period of the small piece of magnet is the t by n. So this is the time period of the small piece of magnet placed in that magnetic field. So we observe that the time period decreases for a small piece of magnet. Now let us see the next case. In this case, the time period of a thin bar magnet is T. It is cut into n equal parts. So first let us consider a thin bar magnet placed in a magnetic field. The time period of this bar magnet is how much? T. Now this magnet is cut into n equal parts by cutting it along its length. So along its length it is cut into n equal parts. N parts. So if I cut it into n parts, the nth part will be how much? Very thin. The length is all same, but the pole strength changes in this case. Understand? Now what is the time period of this magnet, this thin magnet, when placed in the magnetic field? That is what the case we have to discuss here. So let the time period be what? T dash. Now as we have discussed earlier, since this magnetic dipole when placed in a magnetic field experiences a torque, In rotatory motion, we must take it what? Its moment of inertia. So the moment of inertia of this small piece of magnet changes. So now what is the moment of inertia of a rectangular lamina? Earlier we have discussed what is the formula? I is equal to ml square by 12. So now here what will be the mass of this part which is cut here into n parts? Its mass will be how much? M by n parts. The length, it is not decreased, the length is constant, therefore it is how much? L square by 12. Therefore the new moment of inertia, that means the moment of inertia of this small piece is how much? It is ml square by 12. I will write it as 1 by n into ml square by 12. What is ml square by 12? It is nothing but moment of inertia of the first piece. Therefore the new moment of inertia is the I by n. That means the new moment of inertia of this piece will be 1 by nth of what? The first moment of inertia of this magnet. Now what will be the magnetic moment of this piece? So the magnetic moment of this is how much? M. Magnetic moment of this first magnet is M. Now what will be the magnetic moment if it is divided into n equal parts along its length? Earlier we have studied the magnetic moment decreases by what? 1 by nth part, m by n. So therefore the new time period here will be t dash will be 2 pi square root of what is the moment of inertia? New moment of inertia I by n by what will be the new magnetic moment? M by n. In which field it is placed? Same field, therefore the field strength is what? B. This n gets cancelled, so the new time period will be 2 pi square root of again I by m into b. So what do we observe here is the new time period is equal to the time period of the first magnet. Therefore we observe that there is no change in time period though the magnet is cut into n equal parts along its length. The time period remains the same. Let us see the next case here. Two magnets of magnetic moment m1 and m2 where the magnetic moment of first magnet is greater than the second magnet are placed one over the other if t1 is the time period when like poles touch each other and t2 is the time period when unlike poles touch each other. Let us understand this case properly. Now as told here, if two magnets of magnetic moment m1 and m2, so let this be magnet of magnetic moment m1 and let this be another magnet of magnetic moment what? M2. M1 is greater than M2 are placed one over the other if T1 is the time period when like poles touch each other. When like poles touch each other means when this is N1 S1, like poles touch each other, this is also what? N1 S1. What is the time period like each other? T1 is the time period when they like poles touch each other. T1 is the time period. And T2 is the time period when unlike poles touch each other. Let us see the next case here. So this is placed in a magnetic field B. Now I will take the another case here. Here this is a bar magnet of magnetic moment M1. This is what? N1 S1. And there is another magnet of magnetic moment what? M2 placed over this and this with what? Unlike poles, this is north south, then this is how much? South north. What is this time period of this configuration? T2. Then what is the relationship between their time periods? So we know that the time period formula for oscillation of a dipole in a uniform magnetic field is 2 pi square root of I by m into b. So now to know the relationship between what? Time period and magnetic moment. You see in this case the direction of magnetic moment is from south to north, direction of magnetic moment is from south. The two vectors are in the same direction, therefore the resultant magnetic moment in this case is how much? M1 plus M2. In this case you see the direction of magnetic moment of the first magnet is in this direction. The direction of magnetic moment in this direction. Because he told m1 is greater than m2, the vectors are in opposite direction. Therefore, the resultant magnetic moment in this direction will be m1 minus m2. So here the resultant magnetic moment is m1 plus m2. So earlier we discussed that the time period is inversely proportional to the magnetic moment. Here the moment of inertia is constant and the field strength is also what? Constant. Therefore we know that the time period is inversely proportional to the magnetic moment. Now the ratio of the time periods, to get the ratio of the time periods, I will write T2, or this I can write it as the square of the time period is proportional to what? 1 by I squared it on both the sides. So I will write it as T2 square by T1 square is equal to, following this relationship. So it is inversely proportional to the magnetic moment. So inversely proportional means here what I must write? Of the first magnet combination. So magnetic moment of first inversely m1 plus m2 by, I must write it as what? m1 minus m2. You must try to understand here. You see, the time periods are inversely proportional, means their products must be constant. First one should be here in the numerator, second one. Now if you further simplify this, what happens? T2 square into m1 minus m2 is equal to T1 square into m1 plus m2. Now on multiplication, what is that I am going to get here? T2 square into m1. T2 square into m1. Here m1 into T1 square. This m1 into T1 square, if it comes this side, this will become what? m1 minus m1 T1 square. This side what is there? Here it is T1 square into m2. Now here what is that I will get? T2 square minus m2. If it goes this side, it becomes what? Plus T2 square into m2. Therefore here I can take m2 common. m2 into T1 square plus T2 square. Here if I take m1 common, I will get T2 square minus T1 square. Therefore m1 by m2, the ratio of magnetic moments also we can get it as m1 by m2 is equal to T1 square plus T2 square by T2 square minus T1 square. So this is the relationship between the ratio of their magnetic moments and time period. Now if n1 and n2 are the corresponding frequencies, so what is the relationship between time period and frequency? Time period is the reciprocal of what? Frequency. Or I can write time period is equal to what? 1 by frequency, or frequency time period is equal to what? 1 by frequency. Now if n1 and n2 are the corresponding frequencies, that is, for this first case the frequency is what? n1, and second case the frequency is what? n2. Then what is the ratio of their magnetic moments? So what will be the ratio of their magnetic moments? You see here it is m1 by m2. Here what is this relationship between time period and frequency? Reciprocals. Therefore it will be what? 1 by n1 square plus 1 by n2 square by again 1 by n2 square minus 1 by n1 square. So instead of T1 square I wrote 1 by n1 square, T2 square 1 by n2 square, T2 square 1 by n2 square minus 1 by. So if we cross multiply, this will be n2 square plus n1 square, n2 square plus n1 square by the denominator is what? n1 square into n2 square. Again here in this denominator we will get it as what? n1 square minus n2 square by again the product is what? n1 square into n2 square. So this gets cancelled. Therefore the ratio of their magnetic moments with their frequencies will be how much? It will be, I will write this first, n1 square plus n2 square, n1 square plus n2 square. by n1 square minus n2 square, n1 square minus n2 square. So this is the relationship between the magnetic moments and frequencies. This is the relationship between magnetic moments and time periods. Now let us see the next case here. When same bar magnets are used at two different places 1 and 2. Same bar magnets means bar magnets of same moment of inertia and magnetic moment. That magnetic moment is M, moment of inertia is what I. They are placed at two different places when same bar magnets used at two different places 1 and 2. So let the field strength here be what? I will write it as Earth's magnetic field BH1, and this is another place on the Earth's surface where the magnetic field is not uniform, BH2. Now I have placed the same magnets in two different magnetic fields. What will be the ratio of their time periods? So let this time period be what? T1, and this is also a magnet of same magnetic moment, same moment of inertia placed in a different magnetic field. What is the ratio of their time period? Let this time period be what? T2. So earlier we studied that the time period T is equal to 2 pi square root of I by m into B. So if moment of inertia and magnetic moment are constants, 2 pi is always a constant. So time period is inversely proportional to 1 by square root of the magnetic field strength. Therefore they are inversely proportional. So in this case I can write it as the square of this is proportional to what? If I square it on both sides, it is what? 1 by B. So now I will use this relationship T1 square by